Hey, I'm Dominic and drifting is my life. I work in the Drift Masters and after hours I'm either renting on my car or meeting drivers to tell their stories. Now I'm traveling across Europe to meet the best drifters out there. And I want to say hello to everyone who's watching us. My name is Dominic, but firstly I want to introduce myself as, probably you know really good my nickname, Dr. D is here.
Dr. D in the house!
Hello Ian.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
I flew all the way over from Japan for this interview.
Yes.
I hope it goes well, man.
Yes, man. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it. I told that officially and during any interviews, I told to myself and introduced myself first time as a Dr. D because this guy, Ian Andresen, he's the founder and he's get idea and his first time told me Dr. D like 2 seconds after we've met.
Yeah.
First time in 2022.
That's true.
So I have one ask. Can I use it officially as my official nickname for my English episodes?
Bam. Done.
Yes, you are agree?
Do it.
Okay, guys, it's
It'll be my
official.
pleasure.
It's our official agreement.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You are now Dr. D officially.
Yes. Hello, my name is Dr. D and you're watching my interview with Ian Andresen.
What's up?
Who is the CEO of Valino Tires International. You not grabbed the running brand, you just produced this brand, you made this brand from the really bottom, from the zero, let's say.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is based, for me, the Valino is always like a brand made for drifters, from drifters.
Yes.
And please tell me your drifting story from the very beginning, because I, of course, know it, but this is really, really interesting thing and a really interesting story.
Okay. Okay, first, let me apologize. My voice is kind of strange today.
But,
You know, on my flight over here, the air was bad, and I think I caught a little bug. So I usually don't sound like Barry Manilow or, you know, so low like this, you know, lovely voice. But
You can sing it now.
yeah, I could sing some pretty good songs today, actually. Maybe we'll do karaoke after we finish?
Of course. Let's go. Let's go.
do it.
And you were a singer when you was younger.
I was, yeah. I sang since I was 10 years old.
Okay.
Until I graduated high school, I was singing, yeah. But, okay, back to your question. Sorry for going off course.
It will be a lot of
yeah, I'm sure. That's the fun part, though, right? So, okay. I first was introduced to drifting in Japan. It was back in 2007. It's kind of a funny story how it happened. I was teaching English. After my day job, I was teaching English in my home. And one of the female students that I had, who was an adult, she actually was teaching at another English school. And she was teaching children. So I was teaching the teacher. She's a Japanese girl. And she came to me one day and she said, I have this student who has a father who wants to learn English. Can you help him? I said, sure, bring him in. So she introduced him. He came, we started doing, you know, English conversation lessons. And just normal conversation, you know. What's your name? How old are you? What's your job? And he says, oh, I work, I own a mechanic, or I own a mechanic shop.
Okay.
I said, what's your hobby? He says, drifting. I was like, drifting? What's that? So, you know, I was raised in the NASCAR scene. I went to many NASCAR races with my father when I was young. So I've always been a fan of motorsport in general. And I didn't know of any motorsports in Japan until I met this guy, who was my student. And he says, yeah, we have this big competition. I run a team. We have this crazy driver who goes by the nickname Drift Samurai. Funny character. Here's some tickets. Why don't you come and check it out? So I went. And I never left.
Okay.
Like, my soul got sucked in that day.
Yeah.
And honestly, I never left.
Yeah.
So I became friends with the team. By the second round that year, I was already an official member of the team.
Wow.
You know how it is.
Yes.
Just helping. And my whole goal from the beginning was like, wow, this is awesome. And this is a sport, a motorsport born in Japan. And I'm an American living in Japan who can speak okay Japanese. Maybe this has a career down the line. Like, it's fun to watch. It's cool to party with these people. But maybe I could make a career out of this. And that was, you know, 2007. So we're talking what, like almost 20 years ago.
Okay, yes,
19 years ago,
it's a lot, yeah.
So through the years, I just got closer with the driver, Drift Samurai. He kind of took me under his wing.
And can we say, because when I have the looks for your like private things and your friends, and can we say that Drift Samurai is one of the best friends for life?
Yes, he's definitely my brother. I consider him my mentor.
Okay.
And without Drift Samurai, I would not be here today. Yes. I would probably be divorced, living back in the USA, okay. And so he's been there for me for a lot, not just like in drifting, but otherwise also. So he really took me under his wing, and he taught me everything, and he really did it in a very precise way. Like after our relationship started, I was like, I want to talk to the Duri King. It's Giacetti.
Yeah.
I want to work for him. I want to translate for him. But Samurai said, not yet, not yet.
Okay, okay.
So I would wait a year. So Samurai, I want to talk. Can you introduce me? Of course, he's working with him and everything. Yes. I was, introduce me, man. He's like, not yet.
Okay.
I'll let you know when you're ready. So he had this whole like plan. So eventually, it must have been like 5 or 6 years into our like partnership or whatever you want to call it, that he said, okay, I think you're ready. So I'm going to introduce you. And at that time, I was bringing Samurai as his like manager. I was bringing him to European drift events under, what was that called back then?
That was King of Europe, maybe?
King of Europe.
Yeah.
I brought him to a couple events. And when King of Europe came to Japan, I helped them out a lot. And then I got my first translating job with the Drift King. He was actually judging for one of those events. And I was invited to sit next to him and kind of translate him live, like on the spot, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. I'm definitely not meant to be in front of the camera live translating, because it's not that I'm embarrassed or I don't think I can do it. It's just I'm not good at keeping like the audience involved or keeping the audience like on the tip of their toes or on the tip of their seat. I could be pretty boring. I could just translate what someone says, no problem, but...
Like simultaneous, right?
Yeah, like simultaneously, but there's no like spice in it. And,
okay.
Because I'm not an MC. That's just not what I do.
But this is, for you, is for me always surprising when you told me like this, because in privately, you are MC always. On every meeting, you are the number one man on the mission who wants everyone makes smiley, everyone makes laughing, and which is really, really pretty nice, and everyone's likes it.
I appreciate that, and I take that as a compliment. And yes, you're 100% right.
One big compliment. It's my message of love to you, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I love when it's a positive atmosphere around me. So it's kind of my life goal is wherever I go, I want to leave a little bit of Ian happiness.
Yes, 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 yes.
So now, as you know, I'm flying all around the world for the past, 3-4 years, and I'm just sharing my love, my happiness all around the world.
You're just putting seeds of yourself everywhere, and the trees of love is growing up.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever think about make stand-ups?
Like
you will be really good at
stand-up comedy? You mean?
Yes. You will be perfect.
I'll remember 2 jokes, and then I'm going to go white, and I'll be like,
But
you know
man,
what I mean?
it will be first international stand-up about drifting. And you and me knows that topics for doing it's a lot.
That's true. That's true. Maybe if I just talked about memories of past events, that would be stand-up comedy, huh?
Yeah. Your plan for retirement.
There you go. Okay, I can retire then. Yeah.
Yeah. So please remember this guy if he is still not #1 stand-up comedian in the world.
Yeah. Do you want my signature now?
Yes, of course, please, but off the camera, okay?
Okay.
Because I don't bring any marker, and I don't want to
I have
ask
a marker.
you. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, just continuing on then.
Yeah.
I got more and more involved with drifting. And then there's an aero company in Japan called BN Sports, which Samurai was very close and connected with.
They are producing body kits, etc.
Body
right?
kits,
yeah,
aero body kits. Yeah, like old school.
Yeah,
like they're from way back in the day. So they sponsor, you know, Daigo, Saito, and all the top drivers. They always have and they always will. So it just so happened that some stuff happened in the company and they needed someone to kind of pick it up and help, like rebore in a way, kind of like fix the problems.
Yes.
Yeah. So Samurai introduced me to the owner of BN Sports, which is actually a Bangladesh gentleman.
Okay.
His wife is Japanese, so we're kind of the same,
Yeah.
you know. And we hit it off really good, and I started to take over BN Sports like international sales, and that was my first like real like official like sales job. We hit it off good with BN Sports. I connected a few distributors throughout the world, and I was really interested in that. And through that, I was able to meet Abo Moon. We held an event together in the U.S. called Low Style Heroes.
Okay.
And that was really the kickoff for a lot of things that happened very closely. I met a lot of people important in the U.S. Drifting scene. You know, Forrest Wang, Ryan Literal, Cameron Moore, just a bunch of great guys. And I was like, wow, you know, drifting is awesome everywhere, not just in Japan. I was like, wow, I really, really want to make a career out of this.
Okay.
You know? So,
in which year it was?
Low Style Heroes was, I think it was 2017.
Okay.
So it's what, like eight years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And after Low Style Heroes, we started talking about Volume 2 and a Volume 3. Some silly stuff happened in the background between that. We weren't able to do that, but at the same time, I had actually jumped on board with Zestino Japan, which is a distributor of the Zestino brand, which is a Chinese brand. And the big boss there was just like, hey, you know, I'm really tired of working, you know, just holding someone else's brand. I think we could do this stuff by ourselves. You want to jump on board and be, you know, the top guy for this, and we'll get a group together and we'll make our own tire. I was like, is it for drifting? He's like, yeah, we'll start off as drifting. We'll make other tires down the road, but we're going to start as a drifting specific tire. I was like, I'm on board. Where do I sign? It was literally the deadline. I had 6 days left to let my current company, which is actually a kindergarten. Okay. I was an English teacher in a kindergarten during the day for 14 years at the same kindergarten. Okay. So they have rules, you know. If you're going to resign, if you're going to retire, you need to tell us, you know, this many months before you retire. Okay. So I was 6 days away from that time limit. Okay. So I sat down with my family. I said, hey, remember when I was 30 years old, I said, I'm going to make something of this drifting stuff. And I also told you guys, this is my family, my son, my daughter, my wife. I also told you guys that I'm not going to be able to work in the kindergarten forever because as I get older, you know, I'm just going to get tired. I can't be jumping around and picking kids up left and right, you know. I said, I'll give myself until I'm 40.
And you were 40 then?
I retired from the kindergarten, I think it was 3 days before I turned 40.
Wow.
And yeah, the next month, from April 1st, I started working for Valino.
Okay. And how much time you spent, you and your team, for your signification on the Valino contract, let's say, to put the first tire on the tarmac, on the track? And which kind of tire it was? It was Griva or Pergia, or maybe something else?
Okay. Good questions. Good questions. So before I actually jumped over into what was planned to be the Valino brand, I was still actually working for the mother company. I wasn't working for Zestino or another tire brand. I was just working for the mother company. Okay. So we spent about a year and a half planning and testing and kind of preparing everything and throwing back and forth ideas. So some of that time I was still working in the kindergarten. Okay. And when it got close to time to really start things up, that's when I got the offer. That's when I had to make a decision. So it was about a year and a half of behind the scenes planning before we even decided the Valino name. Okay. And then we had to legalize the Valino name as a legal company in Japan, which is a pretty long process. And I'd say it took about half a year. So I started selling the Valino brand right after we decided the name, before it was actually official, because I knew by the time the product is produced in the factory and sent, the company will be legit. So we kind of worked the timing out pretty good. And I sold my first container was to Australia, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not so. First, officially, Valino tires were sold to Australia, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, and which was the first product, Pergia or Griva or something else?
Good question. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
We were working on the Pergia from day one.
Okay.
We were totally working for a more grippy tire. Of course, fair, but we wanted more side bite so the driver would be able to trust us more.
Okay.
Because we've noticed with other tire brands until then, you could be fast on the straight or fast on when you're sideways, but no one could really find the perfect, potion.
Gold point, let's say, right?
Where you could be quick in the straight and sideways.
And I think it's pretty successful because everyone says that the Valino are the tires who I can trust. And guys, if someone didn't know, I'm working for Valino Europe from, I don't know, 22 years when it was officially in Europe. From the very start, Valino Europe, in Europe, I'm on board of this project, and also I have a lot of information from the bottom and from the backstage, and this is really interesting and really nice story. So that's why I've decided to speak about this with Ian, who is a founder of Valino. We can say this, is it proper in English, like founder?
Like co-founder, I guess. It wasn't only me, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take all the credit.
Yes.
I had a group. I had drivers.
Yes.
I had mechanics.
Yes.
And we have money people.
Yeah.
We have a factory. It all worked together. We all worked together. And
and also the Ian story is really, really interesting. And we get known like 2022nd year. It's like 3 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we meeting like 10 times per year because you are at every Drift Masters run and you are coming to Poland quite often. So it's always really nice meetings with you. And
you came to Drift Week also.
Yes, and also we were together there and even sharing a room.
California,
Yes. I were in Arizona, California. Yeah, that was Muscleman.
Yes.
Then we were on Apple Valley.
Apple Valley.
My dreamy, and that was also my dream trip to Willow Springs.
Okay.
And Adams, I guess.
Adams.
It was really nice journey.
That was one of the best, most fun Drift Weeks. Not only because it was California and it's a lot of cool tracks, but the weather was really crazy.
Yes. Especially in Arizona. For me, when I came from Poland, where I left Poland was -10 and snow, and in Arizona was +30, and we're in these boots.
Yeah. It was also great because you were there. You brought a lot of flavor and you took a lot of really awesome videos and stuff.
I was trying to do my best.
We brought Nauki over for that Drift Week, and that was really crazy too.
Yes. Drift Week for me was really important experience. I wasn't on the all because I wasn't on the last part that was in.
I think they went to Las Vegas.
And after Las Vegas, the Sugar Daddy race.
They went.
And
the Sugar Daddy race in Las Vegas, and then they went up north.
Yes.
To was that not Colorado? Was it?
Maybe Colorado.
No, Idaho.
Idaho. Okay. It was snow there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I can't be on this last part, but I was like on the 80% of all Drift Week, and for me that was really important thing because I have a chance to experience drifting from the really other side, because it was like we can say that Drift Week is 100% grassroots event, right? Can we say that? Are you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the place where this is not competition. This is like driving all the time. It have a big value of training for every driver because every day you are making like hundreds of laps.
Yes.
And it's really cool. And for me, because until Drift Week 7, I were strongly into the competitions. only know the grassroots events, but winter grassroots event in Poland in missile cars.
Yeah.
But the Drift Week give me a lot of wider perspective for drifting, and I fell in love. And after that, I was starting to building my own missile car and doing it during the winter in Poland. But thanks to you, thanks to Naoki, thanks to Drift Week 7 and Aaron Lossi and all his crew who organizing it, I made drifting again. Felt in love again and see more. So it was perfect thing.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, so thanks for you also because I were invited there by you.
Yeah, I'm the one that I was telling you, you have to come, you have to come.
Yes.
Naoki's coming, you have to come.
Yes.
And then finally we could figure out, okay, if I tell him it's a job, then he's going to come, right?
It
so
was like
we kind of made it into a job.
Yeah. Really pleasant job.
Oh man, I still remember all those videos that you were putting out.
Thank you.
That's got to be some of the best work that I've ever seen from you.
Thank you very much.
And I watch, of course, all of your work because you're always working with Valino Europe or with Valino USA or with me personally. But yeah, oh man, you were trying like these new styles and everything.
I was me also as a content creator. Also, it gives me a new inspirations, like new wind to all my stuff, and it was boosting me a lot in case of my mindset. It was really important journey for me. So I'm always really have a really good and really deep how to say memories with the Drift Week. And definitely once if I can came back to the Drift Week, I will for sure do it. But I told to myself, because I was in the USA because of drifting 3 times and never been in Japan, so I said to myself that now this is the Japan time.
That's right.
Because there is a place where everything is born, and also this funny stories. And I think I have the best guide to make the Japanese experience in case of drifting.
I mean, what kind of experience are you looking for?
Drifting, of course.
Oh yeah. I know a couple people.
I know, it will be a good one. But and this which we are speaking about drifting, about Valino brand, about all the idea of Valino, as we told that this is brand made from drifters to drifters. Let's say it's everything really stick, because as a Valino you have a product for professionals like Pergia and for grassroots like Griva, which is perfect tire. I'll also using it on my BMW missile car, and also this is the always Griva. This is the tire which I can trust. I appreciate that. I know that it will never will be too sleepy or never the beat. It's really perfect thing. And please tell me, is it hard to stay on this way of the showing as a Valino brand still the drifting love and drifting legacy? Is it hard to stay on that way, because their competitions are higher and higher, the level is higher and higher, you have to also always thinking about the performance?
Good question. I can't say it's hard. I don't want to make it sound easy either, but we've been lucky, and the product that we have made, especially the Pergia 08 RS, seems to be quite unbeatable, and I think it matches a lot of drivers' style and a lot of car builds and horsepower. Some people it doesn't match, but I think it's like a personal choice of how they feel, because obviously whatever tire a driver is using on the car, they can feel that. That's one of the only things that they can feel. They can feel when there's a rock on the road, a small pebble, through the tire. And they can feel when their car is slipping. They can feel when their car is under control, when it's out of control. So it's a very important part. I guess for me and you, like just every day walking around, it's like a pair of socks. If you don't have your socks on, then you're going to cut your toe or something if you step on a rock or something. But it protects you. And some socks are thin, so you can feel everything. And some socks are thick and they're really warm and they
Yeah.
keep you safe and make you feel comfy at night.
Okay.
Right? So, yeah. Anyways, I did want to mention something before we continue. I get this question a lot, and it's not very often that I have the opportunity to put it on, on video.
Yeah.
So I want to explain the actual naming behind Valino.
And that was my next question also. So, great minds think alike.
Nailed it. All right. So, it's a Japanese company, and some of my partners are Japanese, of course. So there's a lot, and I was pushing from the beginning to make this company as Japanesque as possible. I want to keep it like kind of corny, kind of old school in that way, because the world sees Japan as that, especially like in drifting. So you'll see, like, even, my shirts, I always wear the Mount Fuji shirt, and the merchandise we make and everything, it always has this Japanese, like, style, and it's kind of an old school style. At the same time, we're making very innovative products at the same time, okay? Don't get me wrong there. So, we took two English words and spliced them together. We took the word valiant and innovation, and that's how we came up with the brand name Valino. Valiant innovation, okay? The next would be our Pergia lineup. Pergia is actually perfect gear, because you always feel like you're in the perfect gear when you use our tire.
Yes.
Griva,
I have my idea what is Griva, and I told you once.
Okay.
It's great forever.
Yeah, yep. That's what we like to say. We say it's great forever. There is actually some words that we put together, but honestly, I forget because great forever just sticks.
Yeah.
So I call it great forever.
Okay, but how is the truth?
I forget.
Okay.
I was going to introduce Griva as great forever.
Yeah, because it's last for like always. It's like for I have mine Griva, which I'm using from 1.5 years. Same
Holy
set.
crew. Wow. So part of the innovation is, like you were asking before, is it hard to keep on top? Is it hard to, stay with the times? That's one thing that I worked on in AB's circuit for 2 years. I wanted to improve the Griva. It's very specific, like in what country you're in, how well it was working. And I think that's because of just atmosphere, course conditions, car power, and also driving style. So in the US, we started to get problems with the Griva. It seemed to be overheating quite easily, and it wasn't popping, but some parts of the tire were actually like melting down and stripping off. And of course, that's not what we want. So I put 2 years and lots of testing going back and forth to AB circuit with new test tires for an upgraded Griva. The goal was 30% less grip with 30% more life compared to the Griva. And I was testing, the main test drivers for that were Andrew Gray and Naoto Suenaga, who
Legendary Japanese drivers
who were both either Valino sponsored drivers or very good friends of mine who I can trust. And I brought this talk to them and they said, yeah. So they didn't back down until it was complete, which I thank very much, of course. And we got as close as we could to 30% less grip with 30% longer life. I'm pretty sure that they were between 20 to 30% for both, which is a very big improvement for the Griva. So that means if you use this pair for 1.5 years, 20% more, that's another half year or whatever.
Yes, let's hope, because it's a big save of money for me, because
for sure.
I don't have to spend money on extra rims, on changing tires, on buy some, let's say, worst tires like used ones, which I have to change every 2 laps. I'm saving time on the track day to not changing the tires. So I put in one set, going all day. I say, hey, let's do it! Woo!
Yeah, lots of seat time,
And
exactly.
then coming back to the house. Yeah, and this is really important. I can, because I'm not experienced driver, I'm just making it for myself, for fun, for all these pleasure things. And I have to be worried about the tire. I can't to be fully focused only on driving.
Right.
Thanks for nice chat with you.
Hey, thank you, Dr. D.
Thank you very much, Ian.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity, and thanks for the continued support and love, man.
This is big pleasure on my side, and pleasure is mine. And I also I'm happy to show your drifting story, because this is the big story of big love for drifting. This is not about the CEO of big drifting company, but this is, I think, how drifting looks is because you love this sport, as me, as everyone who is watching us. I will say that some things until now even I didn't know, because I didn't know that you were working with BN Sport, let's say. This is a surprise for me. I know you were kindergarten teacher, etc. But yeah, I'm now, I have also, for me this is like a new.
I went to that kindergarten.
The same one?
The same one. I went, I keep a good relationship, of course. So I went before I came here, because I made this new sticker sheet.
Yes.
And actually these were together.
Ah, okay. And gave to the children's?
No. So I go to the kindergarten because they have a professional paper cutter.
Ah, okay.
And I cut all of the Ians off.
Okay.
I had to do 500.
Okay.
So I was,
how many hours you spent on this?
I was there for half the day.
Okay.
So a lot of the teachers that I worked with are still there.
Okay.
Or some, they got married and they had a child, and now that teacher's child is coming to the kindergarten. So it was really fun to see everyone again. It was really happy times.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's good to hear that.
Yeah, everyone was good.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring you to that kindergarten.
Yeah. Okay. When I came to the finally to Japan, you will make me nice Japanese tour. November. Okay. Which one? It will fit with some Matsuri.
Yeah, maybe some Matsuri.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be there too. Okay. I want to end our meeting, our interview, our talk today by just telling everyone, if you're not drifting, you're not living.
Yeah, this is the truth. And this is the most important and the best end of our...
Drift is life.
Yeah, drift is life. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching, guys. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Dr. D.
Nice chat.
Dr. D in the house.
Hell yeah. See you guys.